I came across a small problem digitising my bat mask for Halloween, and I thought I'd demonstrate it to you in case you come across the same problem. So I've got my outline here and my eye holes and one eye. I'm not going to draw the other eye, I'll fix that in the embroidery canvas. But basically I want to use the convert button to convert this to embroidery, and it will just be running stitch outlines because this is just a straight line, narrow. So you need to select everything that you want to convert, and then your convert button will be available, and just left click on that. So I've got my outlines here now. Now I want to use the applique tool to create the outside of the mask and the eyes. So I'm going to deselect everything and then just select. Well, let's start with the outline because this is where the problem was. Normally I would choose all three, but if I start with the outline, and I want it to be satin stitch for applique, so I'll come down and change it to a satin outline. And while it's selected, I'll try and click on the Advanced Applique, and I get this warning: the selected objects do not form an enclosed area. And I thought, that's strange, because it was a closed object. So I decided to go to the reshape tool, and there's no breaks anywhere, even at the start and end here. It's one continuous object. So I thought, well, perhaps it isn't closed completely. Maybe if I go back to select and go into edit and come down, I could close the curve, but those options aren't available. So I didn't know what to do, and I played around, and then I started checking the points, because we do have an option in the Banana software to change the way the points are treated in the software. So by default that is activated so that you get nice clean points where the stitches will go across on the points to close them off, and if that's not possible it will put an angle in here. Now that, as I said, is activated, and the shortcut tool for that is automatic corners down here. So there's your underlay and your textured edge, and then you've got your automatic corners. So I decided to see if that made a difference. So I selected my outline and I deselected the automatic corners, and of course that continues the same angle of stitching around each corner, which can result in quite long stitches sometimes, which aren't as pretty and not as strong, but they're not too bad in this instance. So okay, so I've got that deselected now. So let's try the Advanced Applique now. And sure enough, it works. I have got my mesh in the bat. Now, of course, I would have selected the eyes, made them satin stitch, and done those as well. They haven't got any points, so there was no problem with the eyes. Now, if you find that you need to do that, but you're not happy with these results of these points, so let's just pretend I don't want to have eye holes, and I'm not going to worry about the eyes at the moment. Let's just continue on. So I'm going to place a color in there to make the applique object, and I'll just choose black and pop it in there. Okay, so I've got color in there, and so that's now a proper applique object, and I can go back and I'll just let it set the stitch types automatically for the moment and close. Alright, so I've now got an applique object for this object, and if I click to see individual objects, I'll see the 3 applique stitches here. So, but now I really want to get those points back the way they were before, with this nice finishing off of the points so they're stronger, because this is going to be a mask and I don't want these long stitches peeling back from the points when I cut the fabric away and stitch over the top. I want that to be nicely covered on the points and nice and strong. So what I can do is I'll just go back to the objects and just have the bat selected. I can go to my edit and the break apart tool. So when I break that apart, it breaks up all the objects in the applique. So I have got my placement line, my fabric, and incidentally you can show and hide your fabric here, and then the tack down line, and then the cover stitch. So now I can select the cover stitch. Now I should be able to apply the points back on again. So there we go. So the tack downs, as you can see, have broken up into two parts, and so has the placement line, but that doesn't matter because they continuously stitch around. It's not going to be an issue. But I've now achieved the applique with the points, stronger points that I like for the mask. So I hope that helps when you're having difficulties with your Advanced Applique tool.